Moving now into the idea of the planning process. Describe what are the, is there a methodology that you follow or certain steps that you follow when going through the planning process with starting a company?
We sit down and find out how big the market is, and how am I going to be in this market niche, and how am I going to make sure I'm successful. And I certainly don't want to be just doing it on price. I can get the programming done in India so I can do the job cheaper. That's not a way to maintain a company over the long haul. I look at the people inside the company, and it really starts with a napkin. What usually happens, and I've watched this happen in many places, is there's a vice president of engineering and a director of engineering. There's a vice president of sales and marketing. There's a sales manager, a vice president of sales. The two of them get together with a napkin and start talking about, gee, we could build this company, we could do this. An idea comes, and then they start talking. And then you start getting more people involved because of the excitement of that. Everyone wants to join the excitement that you create, the leader creates. And ideas get kicked around and say, here's how that happens. And then someone says, gee, maybe we ought to write a plan. Because we went from a napkin, to having a business plan. And the business plan isn't written from one of the textbooks they have out there. The plan is, here's what we're doing, here's what we have to do, how are we going to get here? It has nothing to do with raising money, because they don't think about raising money at first. They start just writing about the idea and say, okay, let's do some research. And I try and teach everyone, the best plans that you have people with a competitive section that says, here's how my competition is, here's my barrier to entry. I've researched it all. I've always found venture capital people being lazy. So what I do is I give them as much information possible. I get all the statistics, all the quotes. I don't just make up numbers and say, here's the numbers. I'm saying, here's where it is. And I think that's what happens in the business plan. As you start developing the business plan with your management team, you start showing the weaknesses. Gee, I don't have anybody who really understands finance. Gee, I don't have anybody over here that understands manufacturing. I don't have a chief technology officer. That, when you start writing a plan, starts showing who's going to be responsible for that plan. All of a sudden you find out there's people missing from your team.